Hello guys, and today we'll take a look at the Caernarvon AX, which is the tier 8 British heavy tank. You used to be able to get it from the marathon event, but now you can get it in the trade tech for gold. And today we'll take a look at it. Is it any good after all those years? If you want to see the stats of this tank or my setup, you can skip. I will show it at the end of the video. It will be marked in the chapter. And now let's get into the first battle. So for the first battle we have mines, and for any tank that has a hull down strengths like the Armour and the DPM, which definitely Caernarvon AX have, it's, I would say, okay map. Definitely the most important thing is just to take heal, and in a heavy tank you definitely cannot do that. But if your team manages to take the heal, you can definitely be happy about that, because then you can just play the middle and try to bully your opponents. So that will be the plan. And now, yeah, as you see, this guy definitely needs to learn a bit how to drive straight forward. But it happens, I think he was writing something, so nothing big of a deal. And now we need to shoot those guys here in order to win the hill. So I'm not going for the middle position for now. I'm trying to play behind this rock and try to help our guys on hill, because if we manage to get the hill, it's the first step to the victory. And now we did some damage, we helped our team, and now we are starting to shoot the heavy tanks. As you can see, we managed to hit the couple of the Czech tank, which is definitely an achievement. And that's because this gun is just, I would say, very accurate. And that's because it shoots often. So now, as I said earlier, we want to be here to the middle position. Unfortunately, I got a little risky here and went in front of the E75. But we managed to only get one shot and hit him also once. So I say that is an okay trade maybe. And now we are in the position in which we want to be. So as you can see, I'm trying to move because this cupola isn't that small. And thanks to the hull down strength and the DPM, because we have definitely one of the best DPM on the tier 8 tanks, we try to abuse those heavy tanks, shoot them maybe into the lower plate, maybe into the cupolas. They definitely cannot do much to us, because as you can see here, our turret, even though it has a cupola, I'm moving and they just can't hit me. They are shooting somewhere here and they won't be able to pen there. So now I'm going to the hill. I didn't unfortunately show you that, but I waited before those two guys shot it, and then only I went into the hill. And now from the hill we can still shoot those guys, but now into the side. So this is another good thing about this tank. With this gun depression, we can abuse anyone from anywhere if we play correctly. As you see, we overpicked a little, and the tank destroyer managed to hit us, but it doesn't really matter. We have still much HP. We have already 3000 damage and 3000 bounced damage. And now unfortunately we hit the truck, but he doesn't have a repair kit, so we can just farm heals. And now, yeah, as you can see, this gun just hits anywhere you aim, and that is because the gun caliber is very small, and with this very small gun caliber we have very accurate gun, so we can basically hit anything. And yeah, that is basically how you want to play this tank. So even on the tier 9, our turret definitely can hold up. Of course, you want to use as much gun depression, because as you can see there, the cupola is even smaller, and if you don't really use the gun depression, the cupola can be even quite big. As you can see from the upper side, the enemies will be able to definitely hit us. So now the battle is definitely won. We are winning 7-1. I have 3,500 damage and 3,000 bounce, also some spotting. And now we are just waiting for our team to push the left side and to the end the battle. There isn't much we can do now, we are just waiting here. But yeah, this is why this tank can definitely be very powerful. With this damage per minute, and even though you don't have that much alpha damage, you can just hit anywhere you aim at most of the time, and even if you miss 4.5 seconds later you can shoot another shell. And that is basically why this tank can be still very powerful, even after all these years. So unfortunately I took the HE shell, but we didn't manage to ban the guy. And now I don't know where that went to shell, but it doesn't really matter, he missed. We have such a fast reload time that we managed to shoot him one more time, fortunately. As you can see, even though the pixel shot, even though it was a pixel shot, we still managed to hit that. Now this guy is picking a little bit and we still managed to hit him. So 4 kills, 4,000 damage, 3,000 bounce and almost 2,000 spotting. Definitely a good battle from our side. And now for the score. So we did 4,500 damage, so 2 blind shots I think. 11 modules hit, definitely a nice thing, but it doesn't really matter. 4 kills, 3,100 bounced and 1,800 spotting. So this equals to the ace tanker, steel wall, high caliber and some other random medal. But as you can see, we were top of our team, 1,700 base XP, so definitely it shows how much we did this battle. And for the credits, so we got some rewards for the event or something, so we got 200,000 credits, but without the bonuses we would get 150,000, so definitely a good profit on this battle. And now for the second one we have Cliff. So Cliff is definitely another great map for any heavy tank, I would say, with cooldown potential. And the best thing you can do on this map is go summer here, I would say. And the position of the middle is very important to the team, because if you have it, you can basically control the middle, and sometimes you can cross into the left side here, which is also important because from this left side you can basically control the whole map. And with the Caernarvon we aren't that fast, but I would say we are fast enough to get into the position and maybe try to still shoot some enemies. As you can see here, I'm aiming for the LT432, but unfortunately he isn't going for the run on the hill. And now we can see that we are a little bit earlier than the enemies here. So the plan is to try to get here as fast as possible and just start shooting them. You have to watch out, because sometimes if you are standing over here you can be hit from tank destroyers. But if you play carefully and have a little bit of luck, you can definitely make this position work. So as you can see here, now I'm playing cooldown, the enemies cannot really do anything to me, and I'm using the DPM advantage to just farm the enemies. As you can see here, the Negral is going for me. Fortunately we have a teammate here, so we won't be taking as much damage, but he's already dead. He did only one shot, and with the DPM we managed to just outshoot him. And also this T-44 is here. I don't know what he's really doing, but it's good for us. And after that short time we have already 1,500 damage. And now this T-77, I don't know what he's doing as well. I mean, I don't know, I cannot say what he is thinking, but good for us. He's here now on the perma track, giving us 3 damage. Definitely we will take this deal. And even though he was shooting us on gold, as you can see here, he bounced from us And yeah, now another tank that is going just full YOLO mode on us. So the 703, the double barrel tank. And thanks to the reload time of the 4.5 seconds, we just managed to, yeah, smack everyone. So after just few minutes of taking this position, we have already 3000 damage. Yeah, maybe enemies didn't play as well as they should, but this is the majority of the game in World of Tanks. So unfortunately this guy just went and sideways and shoot us, but it doesn't matter, we are still doing damage, we have still the HP needed here. I'm having the ventilation stabilizer and the gun rammer here, so I don't have the HP advantage. But as you can see here, the enemies are picking us and we are just destroying them with this gun. Without this DPM we would be in big trouble, I would say we would be probably dead a few times. But fortunately we managed to just farm the enemies. And yeah, basically the battle is won here. It's only 8-5, but we have 3,500 HP difference. We did definitely our job. And that is basically in which positions you want to get with the Caernarvon. If you manage to get into such positions that you just can use the DPM, yeah, maybe the enemies in this battle weren't as smart as they should be, but sometimes it happens, and with this tank you can use the enemies here to your advantage. And yeah, as you can see here, now I made a mistake. I think the Borask managed to shoot me into the lower plate here, but it doesn't matter, the battle was already won. I wanted to do more damage, but unfortunately he managed to hit me. And now for the statistics of this tank. So on the left side we have the base tank, on the right side we have the tank that I have in the garage, so with everything, the modules, the crew perks and everything. For the base tank we have 230 damage with 226mm of penetration, and even though the alpha damage is probably one of the smallest on the tier rates, we have impressive DPM of 2440, which is one of the best values on the tier rates. So if you want a tank with high DPM, this tank is definitely a go-to. Dispersion of this tank is one of the best on the tier rates. It's 0.31, so you can basically hit anything if you aim, and the aiming time is 2.21 base, so definitely that's also good. The gun depression and elevation is -10 and +20 degrees, so definitely another good thing about this tank. Now the HP, so base HP you have 1500, with the field mods you have 50 more, and if you want to use HP you will have 1700 in total. Hull armor and turret armor is quite good. You can't really see this on the paper, but we'll take a look at it later. And the mobility of this tank is quite good. For a British heavy tank we have 36 kilometers forward, 12 backwards, so backwards not that good, but the power to weight ratio is 14.6, so definitely a good value. And we are turning 30 degrees a second, so it's okay. The view range is only 380 meters, so we won't be having the full view range, and the camo values aren't really the thing of this tank, so we won't take a look at it. So for the armor, as we can see here, the hull armor isn't that good, and the cupola is quite big, although if you use your gun depression you can see that it is practically invisible. And then the hull armor is a bit, I would say not even a bit, much better. But if you like staying without using any gun depression, the hull armor is definitely a weakness here. The bottom plate isn't really useful at all. You technically can angle in this tank. Yeah, even though you have something of a cheek here, it's pretty well armored, so you can angle a little bit, but I wouldn't use it too much, because if you over angle even a little bit you will get penned easily. The best thing you can use of this tank is of course the gun depression. Then you are practically impenetrable in the top on the turret. The hull armor is much better, You will be able to bounce any tier 8 tanks with standard shells and some even on the gold shells. And now for the setup. So the first setup that I'm using is the ventilation, gun rammer and the stabilizer. Basically in this tank you can use 5 different setups, I would say. The first is this one, the second is this one, but for the stabilizer you have improved hardening, so the HP. And those are the 2 setups that I recommend. If you really like to have the faster tank, you can use the turbocharger. I don't think that is necessary for me. I don't really need more speed, but if you don't want to be such a slow tank, you can definitely use it. But for me, I would say the HP here definitely would be the best setup. So the HP, ventilation and the gun rammer. And now for the crew perks. So for the commander we have coordination, the best perk, brothers in arms, repairs and emergency. The next perk I would use is practicality and then recon. On the gunner we have the brothers in arms, then I think I would use the repairs, then snapshot and then armor, but I think you can change those. But I think you can change the order here. I mean, you need repairs, but if you have on other guys repairs, it isn't that useful. On the driver we have brothers in arms, smooth ride and off-road drawing. Definitely it will be important because you will be faster on the any terrain basically. And repairs for the 4th perk. On the loader and the radio operator we have brothers in arms, intuition, ammo tuning and adrenaline rush. Also you can take close combat, but I think the adrenaline rush. Also another perk that you want to have is close combat, maybe even safe storage, but I think that the ammo tuning is a bit better than close combat because you use it on any range, and the adrenaline rush also you will use always. So I will take those 2 perks later on. For the radio operator, of course, we have the side-by-side and then the firefighting. So that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. If you want to see any other tank or have any question, you can definitely leave a comment. If you like the video, you can subscribe or like even. And yeah, thank you for watching and see you next time.